In a world far different from today, where knights and mercenaries roamed the land and the church held immense power, a small but fierce woman named Catherine of Siena changed the course of history. Imagine a time when the Pope, the highest spiritual leader, lived far from the holy city of Rome, and the land was torn apart by wars and chaos. This is the story of a young woman who, against all odds, brought the Pope back to Rome and inspired a nation to seek peace and reform. Catherine was born in 1347 in a bustling city called Siena in Italy. She was the youngest of 23 children in a family of dyers. From a very young age, Catherine had visions of angels and Jesus. By the time she was 7, she had dedicated her life to God, refusing to marry and choosing a life of prayer and service. She became a Dominican tertiary, which meant she lived in the world, but followed the rules of the Dominican order. Her life was filled with long hours of prayer, fasting, and helping the poor and sick. Catherine was known for her extreme fasting. She would often go days without food, surviving on just a little lettuce and water. Her body was so weak that she would sometimes fall into trances, where she claimed to hear the voice of God. These trances and her devotion to God made her a powerful figure in her community. People came from far and wide to see her and seek her advice. She was so respected that even powerful leaders and clergy listened to her. In 1376, Catherine made a bold move. She traveled to Avignon, a city in France, where the Pope Gregory XI had been living for nearly 70 years. The Pope's absence from Rome had caused a lot of problems. The city was in turmoil, and the Church's authority was weakened. Catherine's mission was to convince the Pope to return to Rome. She wrote passionate letters and gave powerful speeches, urging the Pope to take this step. She believed that only by being in Rome could the Pope truly lead the Church and bring peace to Italy. Catherine's words were powerful and moving. She called the Pope "my sweet papa," and told him that it was God's will for him to return. She described the suffering of the people in Italy, and the need for the Pope to be there to bring peace and reform. Her words were so persuasive that the Pope, despite the pressures from the French king and the cardinals, decided to make the journey back to Rome. The journey was not easy. The Pope left Avignon in September 1376, but it took months to reach Rome. The Pope's health was fragile, and the journey was fraught with dangers. When he finally arrived in Rome in January 1377, the city welcomed him with open arms. However, his stay was short-lived. In March 1378, just 15 months after his return, Pope Gregory XI died. His death marked the beginning of a new and turbulent era in the Church's history. The Pope's return to Rome was a significant event, but it also marked the start of the Great Schism. The Great Schism was a period of crisis in the Church where there were 2, and sometimes even 3, claimants to the papal throne. This division weakened the Church's authority and led to more conflicts and chaos. Despite this, Catherine's role in bringing the Pope back to Rome was a turning point. Her courage and determination showed that even a young woman from a humble background could influence the most powerful leaders of her time. Catherine's impact extended beyond her lifetime. She was eventually canonized as a saint and named a patron saint of Italy. Her life and teachings continue to inspire people to this day. She believed in the power of faith and the importance of living a life dedicated to God and service to others. Her story is a reminder that even in the darkest of times, one person with a strong faith and a clear purpose can make a difference. Catherine's influence on the Church and her role in bringing the Pope back to Rome are just a part of her legacy. She also worked tirelessly to bring peace to Italy and to reform the Church. She wrote letters to leaders, urging them to end wars and to treat their people with kindness and justice. She cared for the sick and the poor, often putting herself at risk to help others. Her compassion and dedication to others are a model for all of us. In a world that often seems divided and chaotic, Catherine's story is a beacon of hope. She showed that with faith, determination, and a deep love for others, we can overcome even the greatest challenges. Her life is a testament to the power of one person to change the world, and her legacy continues to inspire people to this day.